on it. He can't see. He's the old guy in the room.
Bro, every time Whitney drives my car, I get back in that shit, and that shit is on Sport Plus every time.
Because you know she's out there whipping it. She going crazy, bro. As soon as you said comfort, she was like, okay, all right, got you.
Comfort mode.
Got you.
He was like, "Oh, you're gonna let me take the car again?"
Why would you get the other modes if you don't want me to use it?
Right. That's why you had 2 keys. Yeah. Let me give you the valet key.
Oh yeah, real talk.
The valet key, because then they can't
preset it.
Sport. Yeah,
Preset it.
Go into sport mode.
Mm-hmm. We drove I was looking at getting a Model S, and I just test drove one last weekend, and my neck was kind of hurting, and I was like, you want to drive it back? I was like, we just gotta switch before we drop it off, because they let you take it for like 24 hours. You can take it as long as you. Yeah. So we're dropping it off, and I'm like, why don't you just drive? This shit is the Model S Plaid. When I tell you she was fucking driving, bro, I was like, yo, I said you could drive because my neck hurts. I was like, yo. She's like, man, this isn't as fast as I thought it was gonna be. She's going like 180 on. I'm like, yo, chill.
She was having a blast.
Yeah, she's funny. She's funny.
That's hilarious.
She's funny. She's whipping the fuck out of that shit.
Hey.
Check.
Yeah,
check.
you guys can hear in the everything?
Check. Yeah.
Testing.
Yeah, that's good.
I just need to send the stream out to everyone and then we can get started.
Stoning my phone,
Oh shit.
Oh boy, they done put a microphone in front of me, and we're gonna take this to the late night hour.
I don't need him in my ear like this.
No.
We go.
What is going on?
No, I'm getting uncomfortable.
He's trying to turn this into the panty drop session.
Yeah, what the fuck just happened?
Hey, look here. We want you guys to have a good time tonight when you take your lady out.
I'm glad I took my headphones on.
No, sir.
No, that's you. Send him that. He wants that recorded for himself.
Yeah.
You gotta send that to your shorties.
What in the hell?
Oh man.
No, thank you, sir.
Be like, man, we on a late night DJ show. Send in your request.
I request you to stop doing that shit.
Nah, it was something that wasn't sitting right in my heart. My voice was too close to my ear. I'm like, why is this man voice so sitting next to you?
I feel like I'm getting held down. Get your hands off.
Sit back and relax.
Get your hands off my waist, bro.
That was almost as bad as yesterday when old boy was like, so you remember when Abdul got hit in the nuts?
Yeah. That was crazy what he said.
Remember what he said? He's like, you want me to rub him for you?
Oh my God.
Me and Blue looked at each other like, whoa. And then we looked at him like, is he serious? I said, I think he's serious.
Oh, I hope he
Blue was like,
that's
I
a
hope he's
pretty
not
upfront.
serious.
That's a
man.
pretty
I was
upfront.
like, this is bananas.
Nah, I don't think he was serious.
I can't believe he said that shit with a straight face. I was like, come on, player.
All right, so the audio's good, everything's looking good. I'm just sending this out to a couple people real quick and it will be good.
You getting ready to start it now?
Yeah, I just started it.
Oh, okay.
What you guys going on? What do you guys have going on after this?
Oh, man.
Work.
Same.
Listen,
Yeah, that's really it.
figure some shit out.
What you got going?
I'm just gonna edit the fuck out of all this.
Yeah.
Well, like the cool thing is, since it's streaming, I don't have to post. It's just gonna post automatically when we're done.
That's
You
good.
do it on
YouTube?
nah, what hosting platform do you use?
I'm not. I'm just streaming to YouTube.
Have you messed with Riverside?
I heard about it, but no, I haven't.
Just look into it.
Yeah, I definitely will. All right, so just a FYI, the mics, you kind of have to be like real close to them. That's why I bought these extensions. So like blue is good right there. You got to probably move yours, you can adjust it and move it closer to you. Asante, if you want to move yours a little closer to you too.
At least this way I don't have to lean into the table, you know.
You blow my mind.
Oh shit. So we about to
Outstanding.
see what happens when you put the headphones on now. Become a singer. Hummer.
He said that happened when you put the headphones on. Now everybody want to become a
Everybody want
singer.
to be a singer. They'll be like, man, turn me up. I can't hear. Oh, I can hear you just fine. Just relax.
There's no snare on my headphones.
Oh my God.
All right, I just sent it to as many as I could. So you just got back from abroad, right?
Yeah, man. I was in Europe for like 2.5, 3 weeks. It was incredible.
Are you going back, or was that like a one-time thing?
I mean, we have a family reunion out there every 4 years. So I'll go back pretty often, but it was cool because I got to connect with a bunch of people that I had met like 6 years ago, I guess now, because they didn't do a reunion during COVID. And there's like 25, 30 cousins that are like roughly the same age.
Damn, you got that many cousins?
It's my mom's partner. So he's Dutch. His grandfather his father had 11 siblings. So,
Goals.
and they all had like 3, 4 kids. And then they have all had, a couple kids now. So you're looking at like, not everybody was there, and it was 100 people, like really intimate. Like everybody knows each other super well, but it's cool because the family's super high level. Like there's a bunch of like scientists and professional athletes. There's an artist that's famous around the world. His name is Theo Jansen. I don't know if you've ever seen his YouTube videos, but he's created these things he calls strand beasts, and they're like these PVC pipe creatures that go on the beach, and they're autonomous. So he basically just hooks up a sail, and they can like stop themselves from moving and shit. And like there's all this tech built in. And his purpose was like, as an artist, was because there's no more animals there in their natural habitat because it's where the Hague is in the Netherlands. So it's pretty developed.
Right.
And so there's no longer animals there, and the animals have a big part in keeping the dunes healthy, which protects the inland part. And so he built those as kind of like an art display of like lost animals and like the future and tech. But then like it caught on. So he
So wait,
like
is he a
travels around the
musician
world.
or an artist?
He's an artist, a visual artist. So he travels around the world and does displays with them. I actually knew about him before I knew that he was in my mom's partner's family. So yeah, I got to talk to him. I did a bunch of drone footage. He did an exhibit
you
for all
have a
of
drone?
us. Yeah.
You ever show you my videos? I caught a pack of dolphins like a few weeks ago in Dana Point. There was
That's
like
awesome.
20 of them.
Yeah.
I'll show you.
I got a bunch of dolphins swimming with seals. I didn't know they did that. They'll just be playing with each other.
Crazy.
Oh yeah.
You can get such cool
I've never
stuff.
seen that.
I ain't never seen that.
What drone do you got?
I have the Air 2S and the FPV drone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, those are the ones that do flips, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Did you see the drone? Well, I'm sure a lot of people have it, but like that go through the fireworks at nighttime for 4th of July?
Yeah, that was the FPV drone.
Yeah, because it was doing the flips. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Show me some of your stuff after. And,
All right, cool.
All right, you guys. You think the headphones are too loud?
Yeah,
little bit.
turn mine a little bit down.
Can you turn the snare down? I'm fine.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a little echo.
Stop doing that shit, bro.
That turned it up.
Take
just
that
now.
bass out your voice, bro.
What's that sound?
It's all good. I can't hear anything anymore anyway. My eardrums are gone.
I turned them up instead of down.
Now
Check. Little higher.
Yeah.
I think that sounds.
Yeah. That's better. That's much
good.
better.
We're ready to record this album now.
All right, guys. So this is my first time doing this, so cut me some slack. But I guess introduce you guys yourselves. Darnell, starting with you.
Darnell.
I guess I said your name already.
Yeah, you already said it.
What's up, y'all? I'm Blue Jackson. Y'all can find me on social media, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, everything. I'm a musician, artist, singer, songwriter. So yeah, go check it out.
Cool. And my name's Omid, and I guess we'll be seeing what we got going on today. And next.
Asante Monajemi, entrepreneur, content producer. Excited to be here.
All right, cool. We got one person in the chat. That's actually my brother. He said that boy said Dolphins. So,
We talk about dolphins. We're grown men in here.
yeah, exactly. So, I'm kind of just figuring that the gist of this podcast will be dating, relationships, marriage, because I've been seeing some other people do podcasts and they got 1 million subscribers in like a year. So I'm just hoping that we could kind of just get there quickly too, just staying on the topic. First question, it could just be a yes, a no, or you could elaborate. But first date, coffee or dinner?
Definitely coffee.
Why?
Because I think that if you're going to sit down and have dinner, sometimes if you eat, you won't have that opportunity to see if you're going to connect with somebody. You won't be able to talk. You won't have that kind of setting of, okay, well, let's see if we're going to relax and get to know each other. And then if you have coffee early enough time in the day, you can set up a dinner later on. So now you almost get 2 dates in one day with this one person if you feel that vibe there. But if it's not a good vibe, you didn't go out and spend $100 to $200 on somebody that you're really not vibing with.
And what would you say about women kind of looking down on that, saying like, coffee? What, you can't take me out to dinner?
It's a funny story. I actually had, I was on a dating site and a lady was like, oh, I found a great place for us to go out to dinner. And I'm like, oh, okay, send it to me. And then I looked it up on Yelp. And I'm like, okay, this is not first date material. You know, this was like
A $250
Talking about an anniversary dinner.
right.
Yeah.
This was like an anniversary dinner. This was like a dinner for like a Valentine's Day or something.
Yeah.
I was looking, I'm like, man, hold on, this thing got $4 signs on here. So that means minimum, if you go out, you got dinner, you having drinks, you finna spend maybe $250, $300. And I don't even know if I like you yet.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with that. Blue?
Man, I feel everything that you said, but I'm different. I like dinner. I like going to eat because honestly, I'm not trying to really accommodate the woman so much. I like going out to eat. So if I'm going out to eat at 7 and it makes her feel so great to join me at 7, join me, baby. It's all right. Like, you could join me, but it's I don't really look at it as like it's so deep to go to dinner or it's so much more underneath. So for me, I'm just like, it's a dinner, and yeah, it may cost me like $30 more, $40 more, but at least I'm somewhere where I want to be. And at the end of the day, I always like to choose a place where I like to eat.
So I want to agree with a lot of things that Darnell said, but then at the same time, I just want to say that I do agree partly with what Blue said. I've never been to Ruth Chris. I'm not really going to have a chance to go there by myself. So I'm like, okay, here's my chance to like go and experience Ruth Chris without feeling like, I'm going there alone. So I took a girl. It wasn't for her, it was for me. But generally, I don't want to spend $250 on a first date if I don't even know the girl and I don't know if it's going to go anywhere.
This is my thing though. Quick question. Do you feel the same way if it was Cheesecake Factory? Because Cheesecake Factory is not $250.
Yeah, you still going to spend like $125 though?
No.
What if she drink like a fish out of water or she want to order like 3 entrees?
what type of women y'all messing with?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on
y'all
right
gotta
now.
vet them.
I don't know what's going on right now.
If she coming to doing 3
Two
entrees
people
and going
spending 125 at Cheesecake Factory. You got a lot of problems.
Yeah, she's an alcoholic.
Well, yeah,
What is going on? And maybe that's the best first date you could have had because you're like, I'm not gonna date you anymore.
Yeah, no. As soon as she ordered the
Very
third drink, I'm like, oh yeah, like, no. Like, it's not it.
So would you tell a girl like, yo, chill out on the drinks, or would you just be like,
Yes, definitely.
No.
I have told.
But what are you trying to accomplish? Because you're not her father.
Keep it a buck.
You're not
Keep it a buck.
trying to teach somebody. It was a first date.
I'm finna tell
Let
you
them.
something.
You can go live your life. I hope you find somebody to drink 17
Yes.
drinks at Cheesecake Factory
Yes.
with, but it's not me.
Yes,
Right.
That's how I feel.
So here's the thing.
And that's fine.
So you go out with them. They're out. You have a drink before the food get there, right? You're gonna have one, right? So after you have that one, you finish and you look at it like, man, she kind of just inhaled that drink. You know, okay, and then she orders another one, right? So now she's on an empty stomach. She's in her second drink. Depending on if she can handle alcohol or not, she may be nervous, so now she's drinking too much. You see where I'm going with this? Now she's sitting there. You really didn't get a chance to know her before she started getting
I feel that.
yeah, like she gonna get all sloppy on you, whatever, man.
Nah, I feel that.
That's
You-
the same
you a
thing
good dude.
for a dude. You know, I don't look, let's pull the e-brake on this a little bit and slow down, you know, and get to enjoy this time.
Anybody else want to elaborate?
well, Asante didn't coffee or dinner.
Like, nah. Bro. I'm a coffee first date type of experience, but primarily because if it's going to be a date for me personally, I already know the person, and I think that coffee is not as much of a date. But I think that if you're just in that stage of getting to know somebody, I think that doing something like going to get coffee and just kind of like walking around a downtown area, seeing kind of what that person observes and notices and stuff like that. I mean, you get a chance to vibe on what Darnell was talking about. For me, the dinner thing is not as much about the financial aspect of things because, you know, depending on where you're at in life, like I think that I don't think it's crazy to split bills with people. I don't think it's crazy to you know, to have that conversation and stuff like that. So it's not as much a financial thing for me as it is much about expectations, because I don't think the expectations of a first date should be, what are we doing after this? I think that the expectation should be, I want to get to know this person. And that doesn't have anything to do with dinner. That doesn't have anything to do with this, that. When you like really want to start taking things serious, as far as like, okay, this is somebody I want to investigate. This is somebody I want to spend more intimate time with. At that point, maybe dinner. But Blue, I remember you talking about like, you know, people talk about it's taboo to have people over to your house, but like, I'm cooking. Like at the point where like it's a dinner type of thing for me, like I'm cooking food because I want to know like how do we work together in that environment? How do we work together? I'm not a casual dating type person.
As a first date?
No, I mean like the dinner part of it for me. The answer for me, first date, coffee. But what I'm saying about the dinner thing is that's for me, that's more of an intimate thing. It's not I don't like the expectations of going on a first date for dinner because it just sets things up to be, you're putting yourself, in my opinion, either party, you're putting yourself at risk for kind of unspoken expectations on that just because of kind of the narrative that gets pushed about like, oh, I just spent this much money or we just did this or we did that. Like what's next? And it's like, what if you're not feeling each other, but now there's like this awkwardness? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. But when you said the invite them over to cook, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend that he would do that. He would skip the whole, going out part.
Was his name Blue?
Yo, he put my whole game plan out. That's
We're
crazy.
gonna come over here and make this pot of spaghetti.
Well, the thing is like she's already out at the house. You know what I mean? So his whole plan was like get her here, get her comfortable in the kitchen, doing like the like he was doing the cooking, but
Right.
she was helping out, and then at the end of it, he would usually smash every time. So it was just and like you said, the expectation is not to like smash; it's to get to know the person. But yeah, the
If
first
you already know
To the
somebody
crib
and
so
you know,
can smash. That's what she's saying.
This is my question, because I understand that, but for me to cook, for me to do all of that for a first date and all of that working hard, take my $40 cheesecake, take my $50. Like,
Yeah.
rather than me do all of that, and she's just as happy.
Remember, we
Yeah,
in
no.
2023 now, so it's like $80 now because they done double
I'm
and triple.
telling you, I was just at Cheesecake 2 days ago
Meals are crazy
with
right
the
now.
shorty, and it's not no crazy bill at the end. It's not no crazy bill.
Did y'all order grilled cheese sandwiches?
The thing is, it's all about energy. So if I'm sitting there with a large glass of wine and I'm chilling,
Okay.
she's not gonna be all frolicky and be like, "Oh, I just want to keep taking drinks and shots."
That's true.
So
Okay,
if
but you also brought up a good point. So you're talking about there's like a limit on how much you're gonna spend, right? You're not gonna take a girl and spend $500 on a first date, right?
No.
$80. I mean, so what? You know, $80 is $80. So maybe coffee, you know, is okay, but then maybe a $60, $70, $80 dinner is totally appropriate too
Yeah.
for the guy.
That's also just depending on somebody's lifestyle. I think what Blue had mentioned is that if you're doing that for you, if you're the type of
Yes,
person
yes.
that likes the experience of going to $500 dinners, then sure. Because I mean, this is another thing. I think that whatever you do on a first date, second date, third date should be
Set
kind of in tune with your life. I think it's like, hey, I'm going to do this.
yeah.
If you want to come hang out, I would love for you to join.
Like I'm about to get out the gym and I just want to like get the date in real quick.
No, not shower first. Not play. It's not an expectations thing. Or I'm sorry. It's not like a last minute like, oh, by the way. It's like, no, like, oh, hey, I've been really thinking about going to the sushi spot. I think I'm gonna go on Saturday night. If you want to come, I would love to have you there. Because then it's like I'm doing this shit anyways. I got stuff going on. You're welcome to join me, and we can like that would be really fun.
So is that really like a date or like, yo, you can tag along?
Like come
But you make it what it is.
Right.
It's honestly
casual.
Honestly, it is. Yeah, it doesn't have to have a name. It doesn't have
does
to
not.
be like. It's not like I'm being like, oh, can I take you out in this super luxury? It's not like I'm going crazy like that. But
So
it's
let me
like,
ask you another question to that one then. If she says, okay, I'll tag along, you gonna split the bill, you're gonna pay the whole bill. Because you technically really didn't ask her out. You said you can tag along. I'm going whether you come or not.
you asking me or you asking me something?
Yeah, Asante just said, you know, I'm gonna go to the sushi spot.
I mean-
whether you come or not, I'm out.
If somebody offers to split a bill, I think that regardless of gender dynamics, I think it's like, no, it's okay. I'll take care of this one. And
Wait,
you
no,
get the
but you
next one.
said she offered to. That's usually girls don't like.
From my experience, I've seen it both ways. I mean, I've seen people that think that it's super like weird if a girl's offering to pay, and I've seen a lot of girls that are like, no, I don't want you just like paying for everything. Like, I don't want to be a burden. I've seen both. But I don't know. It's kind of like the holding a door open thing for me. It's like that for me. That doesn't have anything to do with gender. Like if you're there first, open the door.
Yeah.
Well, also, I think a big deal,
That's just kind.
a big part of the whole like who pays for the bill is, you know, like when you do something for somebody and they're super appreciative,
Yeah.
and you want to do more for them,
Right.
and then if they're not appreciative, you're like,
It's a kind thing to do,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You take care of the bill. It's a kind thing to do.
I
But
had a
don't
girl-
think there should be expectations.
I had a girl one time that I paid the bill, and then immediately after I gave the card and the waiter walked away, she was like, you know, I could have paid too when he came back. And I was just like feeling in my heart, like, yo, like I tried to do something nice and then you just gonna like discredit that. And I was like, you want me to go get the waiter then? You know,
Like
like,
same thing I would have said. I would have been like, yo,
Hey,
Joe, like, yo, Joe, bring that shit back.
Nah, I like the trade off. You know, I like, but it's never about actually who's paying for shit. Again, it's about like you said, it's about like being kind, doing something for somebody, showing somebody that you're willing to like, that you care, that you want to do something, whether it's holding the door open or paying for dinner. And this is also granted that like we all have the money to pay for dinners like this. You know, there's different circumstances, but if you're communicating with people and you're just straightforward and honest, I think that's a better foundation to a relationship anyways. But again, if you're the type of person that's going out to $500 dinners every weekend, then by all means, that could be your first date. But if that's not part of your life and you're just doing that to impress somebody, that shit is not going to go over well.
yeah, it's kind of like if you got a private plane, right? And you tell the girl, all right, well, you go fly, you know, coach or whatever, and I'll meet you over there. Like,
I'll be in first class while you're in the back.
Hey, but I will say, if you got a private plane, I'm not taking a girl on the private plane on a first date. I'm still going to get coffee because what the fuck does the private plane got to do with me? and my
feel that.
character. Like I want to connect.
I feel that. Can you put the camera on me? If I have a private jet, we on a private jet, baby. Let's go. We going somewhere.
We finna take this
First
private
date,
jet.
second dates, we taking the jet. If I'm Elon Musk, I'm not taking the. I'm pressing the button.
Yeah, but you
And I'm
Elon
letting
Musk.
off the Tesla in the
But
air.
no,
like,
but
baby, you see
Asante,
that?
he makes a good point though. Like just because you got the private plane, right? You
Yeah.
want to feel the girl out too before you
Yes.
start
I mean,
doing
I
all
feel
that.
that. I feel that.
As an athlete, Blue, like when there was somebody around you, whether it was a guy friend or somebody that was a romantic interest, if they're like, "Oh, you're on the basketball team, now I'm interested,"
Yes.
I don't want to hang out with you.
True. You're right.
Because I'm
That's
one
true.
of
That's true.
15.
It's
You're
not a
right.
genuine.
That's true.
You feel what I'm saying? A private jet is on a whole nother level.
That's
or
true.
something like that.
That's
even
true.
the dinner,
That's true.
even the $500 dinner. Like I said, if you're doing that all the time and you're like, "This is my life," I get that.
That's
but
true.
I don't. I'm on the level of like nobody knows what I got, what I don't got, anything like that. It's like you just connect with somebody, and then I would hope it'd be the same way on the other side. Because if somebody's just out there flexing a bunch of shit, if there's a girl that you're interested in that's just flexing a bunch of stuff, it's like, what do you really bring to the table from a relationship standpoint if how you're trying to lure me in is just money and shit?
I agree.
That-
I think. Go ahead.
And that's the part where I said I think that if you go for coffee, like you said, let's take a walk, let's take a stroll. It don't have to be nothing over the top, right? Because that first date is almost like that first impression. You know what I mean? That first impression gives everybody that understanding that, okay, where we're at. And if you set that bar so high, it's gonna make it that much more difficult for you to do. Everything has to be at that level going forward.
Yeah.
You kind of set yourself up like, oh, well, he took me to a Roof Press or Fleming's or wherever, and we did this,
Yeah.
and now all of a sudden he want to take me to the Cheesesteak Factory. You know what I mean? It will. look
It's like
he
the hot and cold.
Exactly. You want to have that build up, man. I want to know that. Look, if we want to, we're gonna go grab some coffee. We're gonna chill. All right, then we're gonna get some ice cream or something, or whatever. You know,
And now you're
have a
broke.
right now you're broke. Have a nice bro. You know, and figure it out and have a good time. But that gives you the opportunity to understand what this woman is looking for. Like Asante, you're gonna pay attention to what she's looking at, what her vibe is, you know, and what's going on, and then you can make okay, is it somebody that I can have a second date with, or is it somebody I'm about to throw back in the pool or not? You know, that's just my 2 cents about it, I
So,
guess.
let me ask y'all a question. How do y'all vet? Because I think that as men, I think that our vetting process, even to getting to the point of a coffee date or a dinner date, sometimes can lack the depth that it should.
I'll tell you one way that I vet. I'll ask a girl to coffee. If she says absolutely with a good attitude, I'll switch it up and be like, let's go to dinner instead.
Okay.
But if she says no to the coffee, what do you mean no?
Yeah.
So it's not about getting to know each other.
I feel that. Okay.
For me, is you know how the initial conversation goes when you start talking to somebody, whether you're in a text conversation or you talk to them on the phone. Because that's normally how I go. You on text first or whatever, then you have a phone conversation and you see how that goes. All right, seem like it's cool. Seem like you don't sound like you're too crazy or whatnot. And then, all right, let's see how this face to face gonna go. You know, because it's about that flow, that vibe. You know, you want that experience that don't seem like it's forced. Like you gotta pull teeth, you know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. Like that's how you set the stage of where you go next. If you can get together, you can kick, you can chill, you can hang out, you can laugh, you can joke. You can tell, okay, she's not stuck up, you're not stuck up. You guys can have a good time on a level where you want to be at, right? It's not about who's gonna spend this or who's gonna do this, or you know, you go to dinner and she's more excited about posting pictures about the plate instead of engaging with you at the table. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm gonna post some of my friends.
Hey, but what if those pictures are paying for the food though?
Facts. Facts.
Hey, things have
Talk about
changed,
it.
bro.
Talk about it. I done been to some dinners where them pictures was hitting and getting some likes. The pictures was paying the bills.
So now you want the date with social media. You want the date with the girl though. That's
No, I'm just saying
My
it's-
whole thing is
No,
it's
but
real,
he's saying like she's on her phone, right? You could take a picture and put it away, but like if you on the
Yeah, I'm just playing with you.
okay,
You gotta go through the whole posting and and I get it if that's your hustle, that's your gig. But at the same time, hold on, I'm gonna need you to put that to the side. You can post this after we done. I want to get to understand and know you. Have you ever sat across like in a restaurant and you just look at the room, right? You can tell the couples that are either halfway new, they've been in a relationship for a while, or they're feuding because you'll look across and both of them on each side of the table. Nobody looking at each other. Oh, the waiter come, I'm gonna order it, then I'm gonna pick my phone back up and I'm back, and they back right into it. And it's like, did we really go to dinner just to eat? Now we could have ordered some Popeyes or something at the crib, and you could have sat on one end of the couch, I could have sat on the other one, or something. Instead of going out to go through that process. That's all I'm saying.
First date looked like 22 years of marriage.
I was envisioning the first date.
I'm like, hold on. Like, man, Jesus Christ. 0 to 100 real quick.
Hey, you guys, before we get to any of the next questions, like the mics, Asante, if you need to move it back a little bit or up, because you're kind of tall, it's really got to be like this close from you guys for the audio to sound really good later on, and you can
Missing
hear
these
it.
gems, bro.
Yeah, this one right here, I think, is the one that you need to that knob. If you loosen it, yeah, you can hear it in the if I get real close, you hear it in the headphones, and then so.
Yeah, it's much better.
Okay, I think this was a good. Does anybody have anything else to add to that line of questioning? Okay, flowers on a first date? Yes or no?
Man, hell no. Flowers on a first date.
Wait, hold on. Red flag.
That's for me?
Yes.
What? Flowers on a first date?
No. If you give him flowers on a first date, red flag.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
You thought I was over here like, you're not going to give flowers on the first date?
I almost got offended for a second. I'm like, not a like, no.
we were cool, bro. Yeah, no, that's terrible.
I can't do that.
Nope.
Bring yours a little bit lower.
Mine a little lower.
Just like this.
If anybody gives flowers on a first,
Good, better.
I wish that there was hundreds of thousands of people watching so that we could get like a comment feed of if anybody has ever done that, because I want to know if anybody has ever given flowers.
I've done that.
Okay, cool. We don't need 100,000. What's going on with your head, bro?
I'm thinking okay, it was back when I
Did you already know this girl?
well, no, I mean I just got her phone number or whatever and asked her out, right? But it was the whole traditional sense of what a dude is supposed to do. You're supposed to ask her out, you're supposed to get her flowers, but then I realized that this is it's all crap.
Was it Valentine's Day?
No.
Was it Mother's Day? And did she have a child?
No.
What's going on, bro?
Was it her birthday?
I figured that was what a traditional, type of dude was supposed to do. And then
How'd it go?
Yeah.
it didn't go good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and I got
That's good data.
Yeah, that's good.
just some feedback on the flower thing. So I know a lot of people that they get their ladies flowers or whatever, and so some of it becomes a routine. You got women that say, "Oh, every Monday there's flowers sitting on my table." I know that because he goes and he gets them or he picks them and he puts them there. So it's an expectation. So does it still carry the same weight as if you surprised her with flowers? Versus, she knows that when she comes into the kitchen, she gonna have a fresh bouquet of flowers sitting there.
I think it depends. I think it depends on the woman. Because I've dealt with women that enjoyed more so getting a whole, a bouquet or some flowers randomly every once in a while.
Right.
And I've also been with women that really enjoyed hey, if you could just give me flowers once a week, I'd love that. And I don't think it's a better situation. I think it's just whatever the woman
Then the
wants.
flip side of that is how it's associated with, I'm sorry, I fucked up, I did something wrong, and now I'm getting you these fucking flowers.
A friend of mine,
I
her
heard a
parents.
lot of women that,
Yeah, a friend of mine, her parents, they said, 20 some years of marriage, the guy had never bought the woman flowers, right? So we're talking about it, and she's like, if he bought me flowers, I'd be nervous he cheated on me or some shit. But their relationship worked. But like you said, I mean, I think it's just up to the person. Yeah. I mean, that's like all like the love languages and shit, and like what people appreciate. And But I mean, I think like, you know, whether like again, gender norms and politics aside and shit, like just ask somebody what they appreciate.
But I think that goes with the whole part of having that understanding and that communication.
Yeah.
Communication is key. Look, let me know, either you want to know what the love language is, or what do you consider appreciation, and how would you like to be appreciated?
I will say, don't just do that without any type of effort first, because that seems almost like you're doing it out of like knowing that they want you to do it. Like I would go, and before any type of holiday, personally, like if you're really invested in a relationship, get flowers for somebody when they do something that you really appreciate. Just randomly get them flowers.
So you're
Don't do
talking
it on a
about
holiday.
giving them that reinforcement, like that Pavlov's.
Yeah,
law,
like I
whatever.
appreciate you flowers.
Or you did something.
Write
You
a
did
simple
something.
note.
You did something good, and so you got flowers. Or no, you're just saying I appreciate you.
I mean, not like a dog treat. Like I don't mean it like that. I just mean like, yo, like I really appreciate you. Like you've been really supportive. Like I had a hard time at work this week, and you were like really supportive. I really appreciated that. Like I just wanted you to know that I appreciate you. Here's like, you know, I got you these flowers. Something like that with a little note. You know,
Yeah,
you don't even have to go to the grocery store. Like you can order flowers online. Like you can, you know, pick out flowers and they're oftentimes they're a lot nicer than the ones in grocery stores and stuff like that. So it's like you can do that and just have it be something. And then once you see how they react to, like, if that's something they really appreciated, or if they were just like, oh, thank you. Like at that point, have a conversation and be like, is this something like how do you like flowers?
Right.
Like I didn't even ask.
So I wanted to say something to what you just said in the beginning of that. I've always been a fan of, I'll say like, look, if we have a conversation about something, as the woman, if you're like, okay, well, I would like it if, you know, you did this, you did that, or something like that. And I explained to them, okay, that's cool. I'm glad you gave me that feedback, that communication, but I'm gonna let you know that's not getting ready to happen like today or tomorrow or the next day. And then they're like, oh, well, what do you mean? I'm like, well, because now it'll only look like what you just said, I'm only doing this because you asked me or you mentioned it to me. And it's not coming from that I really, really, really want to do this for you. Be like, oh, look here, take this shit, man, you know. I'm just giving it to you just to shut you up.
No, girls will ask for a lot of things. Like I had a girl one time say, I love receiving good morning texts every morning. And I'm like, well, it's not gonna happen.
Like this is the last text you were about to say to me in general.
I would have sent her a good night text, and that was it.
At 3 p.m.
Like good night. Blocked.
It's like 1:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah,
you sending that good night text.
The sun has went down on her. It's a wrap.
Good night to the relationship.
So what you guys are saying that you wouldn't think of texting your lady good morning or good night if you guys didn't wake up in the same bed together?
Oh yeah, we would do that, but the request is insane to say every day.
That's the thing, a request to.
Yeah, no, I've heard it.
I think I think expectations damage shit. I think communicating. I appreciate a good morning text, but like being like, I need a good morning text every single morning. It's like, what if I wake up really early for a workout and then I do this and I do that and I'm busy that day? Like, I don't want to be stressed that I didn't send you a good morning
shit, I
text.
forgot to send you this good morning.
Yeah, that's
text.
weird. That's weird.
Yeah.
I tell people now,
That's control
right,
shit.
It's like
But it's not about the text. It's about the whole, like you said, the
the
expectations,
expectation.
right?
But I like the fact of letting them know that, look, man, we gonna start this, but I'm gonna let you know right now, I have zero expectations for you to do anything, or that you are, you know, you're expected to do anything. Man, you know how many times I done got into an argument about, well, what do you mean you don't have expectations? And I'm like, I do not expect you to do anything. I want you to show me you. I want to learn you from your version, not the version that you think I want to see. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but it's a trip when you do that, man. That starts a whole nother fire sale, man.
That's why you got to ask a bunch of questions where
you have to
it's
ask.
really unclear what your perspective is, like when you ask a question. So it's like you don't know whether or not I like getting flowers, but it's like, how do you feel like in general? Like, how does it, like, is that something you appreciate, getting flowers? Because like, I haven't revealed my opinion about flowers. I haven't, or good night texts or like whatever it is, whatever the subject is, asking questions where like it's not clear what your perspective is so that you can hear somebody's genuine response and you can hear how they work through that or answer you and ask you a question back and stuff like that. Like, especially early on in a relationship, because I mean, this has happened to me multiple times where, like you just said, Darnell, you over communicate what you need from someone and they become that.
Yes. So now you don't know them, you know the version of you that
Yes.
you wanted in them. Instead of, and then like 6 months later, they'll be like, well, I feel like I'm not even being my original self.
Yeah. And you got to worry about, I mean, that's not even necessarily an intentional thing. Like, you got to worry about like doing that yourself. You know, if you really like somebody, like you got to make sure that you're doing things because it's comfortable for you and your preferences and you're communicating. Like, obviously you want to like, part of appreciation is like learning how to be with somebody and how to do things they appreciate, but like changing yourself really early on in a relationship just to make something work, if it's really not comfortable, you got to be careful with that shit too, because that can happen passively. But
Definitely.
but yeah, no flowers on first date.
Yeah, I think we've agreed that flowers is not a good idea.
Flowers are not allowed
Flowers,
on
yeah.
first dates. No,
I don't even, honestly, I got beef with the flower lady that be at the club trying to set me up every time.
Weird, right?
It's crazy.
It's weird.
Crazy. It could be a girl I just met.
Make your
she's
money,
like,
but that's weird.
it's tough. I'm like, no.
Another question about those flowers.
Yeah,
Most
go for
people
it.
don't understand the difference between a red flower, a yellow flower, a
Right,
white
right, right,
flower, a blue flower. They all have different meaning.
Raise your hand if you know what the difference is.
I know red.
I was like, yo, you talking about me? You talking
No,
about
I
me?
mean, in general,
like
most people they don't understand the significance behind the flowers, right? It's like you got a girl that you're courting and you're taking her out of wherever you guys just met. You can get her some white, yellow, or pink flowers or something like that. But you get her some red roses, she's gonna swear up and down that you're in love with her right now because you got her red roses.
All right. Well, let's say this girl is not a romantic partner, right? Let's say it's your mom or a niece or like somebody that is in your life that's a female that you want to appreciate. What about then?
Oh, I'm giving my mom, my niece, my sister, the women in my family.
Does it have to be Valentine's or Mother's Day?
They could get whatever they want. They could get whatever they want: flowers, love, affection. But the thing is, when it's a girl that you just met, they gotta reach that level. So
So it's about earning it. It's not
Yeah,
about the gesture of giving them flowers. It's about, I don't know you. You haven't earned my affection yet.
yes,
Well, because then you said, like we said earlier, you set the wrong expectation. I just met you, I bought you a dozen roses. We going on this 5-star meal. We going jet skiing, and now you just blew like 5 dates out in your first date. And now she has this expectation, like, oh my God, going to her friends and telling all this stuff.
This
that
is
she
not the
did.
set of Hitch.
Right.
Yeah,
Relax.
This is not Hitch. Relax. This is for real. We gonna get to understand and know each other, and what as fast paced as a lot of people try to move these days, man, it's hard to learn that person truly inside when you have everything else going on around you. If you take the time to slow it down and like, oh well, no, I like to do this, and I get that you might like to do that, but can you really get to know somebody in a club setting? The music's too loud to have a conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's a whole other question. Like, do you ever think you could find a genuine relationship in a club?
no,
You're both there for the wrong reasons.
no, not a genuine relationship. You'll find some from friendship. You'll find a
Friendships,
situationship.
yes.
You want to hear the funny thing about that is most people that meet in a club, one of them will be like, oh, I don't want you going back to the club no more. But that's where I met you at. And that's why they don't want
But
you
that's what I'm saying. It's a problem.
Right.
I don't see a genuine relationship ever forming from being in a club unless maybe, Blue, as you mentioned, like you become friends for a long time and then it turns into something like that. But
There's a handful that may be able to make it happen without or with that going through that type of setting. I'm not going to say that it doesn't happen because there are people that probably met and that was probably their first time going out to a club and they haven't been out in months or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're in the club and then they meet somebody and then they probably don't go back clubbing for months.
Yeah.
It happens, But is it a reality? She talking about she possibly going out every night or you going out every night. That's something completely different.
yeah, I mean, go have fun with your friends in a club. Don't go there to find love.
Yeah, no.
What are you doing?
That's actually one of the questions that I have written down is when you meet a girl, how do you know? Because like guys, we have intuition, right? We and by the way, you guys, this is my friend Charles.
What's up, bro?
Yeah.
What's going on with you,
Blue,
Charles?
man.
So how do you gauge how you're gonna what category you're gonna put this girl in? Meeting her at a club, that's a good way to kind of understand what category you put her in right away. But what's some other ways?
Again, I think it's just expectations. Like, what are you looking for? Like, I don't think it's fair to put somebody in a box just because you met them in a specific environment. But like, again, like putting expectations on what you're meeting someone there for is fair to not do, because like life can surprise you. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think in general, I put everybody in the category of, do I want to be friends with this person or not? Is this somebody that I would want to have around me in my life or not? That's the only categories. Everything else will develop over time, but it's like friends first. And then like you see where things go. But like, I think that it like to put somebody in a category of like, oh, this person is somebody that I want to be with when you just met them, I think it's nuts.
You got to understand that person to their core to get to that part. And I've had that conversation where you're like, look, I'm looking for somebody to have an intimate friendship with that builds and grows into a relationship, right? And I had this lady be like, well, what do you mean? It sounds like you're just looking for sex because you said intimate. I said, you know that there's levels to intimacy.
I had the same thought.
So there's levels to intimacy. You know, there's levels to it.
Yeah.
You know, but it was a whole debate. I was like, all right, cool. You know what? That's your opinion. That's your thought process. Have a great day. You know, hope you find the person that you're looking for. But when you say you want to, and it is another question that opens up the more questions, which helps get the communication part going, because that's what you want to talk about. What do you mean? Like friends, where we going to hang out, we going to kick it, we going to sleep together? No, I want to get to know you. I want to understand. I want to have conversations with you that I have with my boys. I don't have to feel shy about it.
But is there ever a point where you approach the situation with like friends, right? And then at some point you're like, all right, maybe down the line, right? And you're like, all right, I'm just gonna keep smashing and that's all this will ever be. Or the other girl is like, yo, like she's showing good qualities of like wifey. How do you like does that go through your mind, and what would make you think that way? Like her behavior or her actions?
Well, I think it comes down to your interaction with her, you know, your conversation with her, how you guys move together, if it's fun and enjoyment, but then you can still have those real hard, serious conversations without it turning into a huge ass debate and argument.
Yeah.
You know, if it's something where you just sit there and you're going back and forth, and you're like, man, how did we go from we were just sitting there chilling and now we're in an argument over a dumbass comment or anything?
Why'd you say the dumbass comment, Darnell?
Hey man, that's what I do. Exactly. That's exactly what I do. I say dumb shit just to see how you gonna respond to it.
Hey, we need to answer questions better to encourage people to start getting on here.
Yeah,
but
that's a good idea.
We've talked about most of this stuff, but the last one was a good question from Young Chronicles. What do you say to your girl if she says she still wants to go out to the clubs? Thoughts?
And this, let me extend this question out. It's a great question, but what do you do if your girl has a set of promiscuous friends that you know are not any good, and she insists on hanging out with them often?
I'll start this one for me. Is if it's your girl, do you trust her? You know, ouch.
Not to be at a club, like why is she?
Hold up.
So what? So this is a
Trust no one.
That's a good topic. Let's turn
Let's
it up.
not make this a male-female thing, first of all. We're talking about relationships.
Let's go.
Yeah.
The heat just turned up.
Yeah, we got to get out of this pit. Hold up. We got to get out of this pit. This is,
we
hold up.
keep digging in this motherfucker.
No. Let's get out of this pit. In relationships, let's change this to one person wants to keep going out to clubs. What is that in that relationship? Is there space for that? Let's change this question a little bit.
So I'm going to say, in a relationship, if you have trust and believe in the person that you're with, you shouldn't have to put parameters around how they hang out or kick it. You should be able to trust who they are, to understand that, look, this is a scene or a setting that I don't want to be involved in. I think this isn't a good place for me. I'm going to go ahead and leave, right? Your friends should understand that you're in a relationship and not put you in those type of situations also. So at the core of it, I look at it like this. If I met you in a club and you still want to go to the club and you got a whole bunch of homegirls or homeboys that you want to go to the club with, you know, we have to say, okay, so how does that look?
So you're saying, like, do they respect the relationship?
Exactly.
So you're saying let them do what they will do.
I'm a firm believer of you. I'm going to give you enough rope to show me if I'm going to reel you in or if I'm going to let you go.
And that will show if they're respecting the relationship or not.
Because if you respect a relationship, you can respect your relationship. You can go out, you can hang out, you can have a good time. That doesn't mean that you have to go to a club to go dancing with somebody.
And that's a comment. Look at the comment.
And I can't see that. That's too far.
I don't really buy all that. I'm trying to dance with my friends and stuff. Yeah, fair.
You know, but everybody
can't say nothing. I can't say
everybody
nothing
has
bad
their
about
own
that
opinion.
statement. I don't really buy it either.
Everybody has their own opinion and thought about it. But to the core of it, it comes down to, you know, the nature of your relationship.
Yeah.
Do you have that open trust and understanding?
I'm going to give a rule. If they still want to go, if you would be there, then I think it's fine.
Yeah, that's totally acceptable.
If they say, hey, I was thinking about going out later.
But then what if you don't want to go and they still want to go?
If you don't want to go, but they wanted you to go, the reason why they're going is fine. If they would have just as much fun in that environment with you being there, then that's an environment you can be in. You don't have to be there all the time. You don't have to be together all the time. But it's like, are they carrying their self within a relationship so that, like, they're the same person when you guys are together at a club or when they're on their own at a club? Then that's fine. Yeah. But it's like, if it's a situation, in my opinion, where if they're like doing stuff that they wouldn't want you there, or they're like, nah, like.
So you're saying that as long as they got your permission, in a sense, right?
I don't even think it's permission because we all grown.
It's just energy.
You know, and it just comes to, well, look, it's like, okay, so let me put it to you like this. Like we were having this conversation earlier when you said you went to a E40 concert, right?
Right, yeah.
Right? And he was like, man, this concert was a little crazy. I said, it was a little crunk, it was a little hood, right? He's like, yeah, man, it was just all over the place. But most people that don't like that type of environment, they won't go to that concert, right? You want to be in an environment that you feel comfortable in. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing for going to a club. If you know that you're going to a Shark Tank club where everybody in there is looking for a one-night stand and trying to see who they can hook up with, well, that's probably not the place your girl or you should be going if you guys are not going there together. Even if you go together sometimes, people will still be like, hey, who?
Here's my question. How old is this woman? Because it's a certain point where this shouldn't even be a conversation, in all honesty.
Hey,
Let's be real. Like, as men, there's a certain age where a woman is saying, I'm going to the club or I'm going to a party with my friends at One Oak. At a certain age, I'm looking at you like, oh, this is definitely not my wife. So we got to be real.
And also,
my wife's not going to be in the club with every other night.
And also on the other flip side, at a certain age, if she's 21, 22, that's kind of understandable.
Yeah, because you're still trying to find yourself. You don't even
Yes.
understand yourself at that point. But also, I'm going to tell you this, on the flip side, you also got the people that got married young. They didn't experience that. They either are relationships on the rocks or they are getting a divorce and separating, right? So now they spent their 20s in a relationship and they never had that experience. And now they're out of that relationship, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, whatever. And so now they're like, oh, I got this newfound freedom and I'm gonna enjoy it even though I'm 40, 50, or 60 and I wanna go hang out and kick it.
And
There's other things as well, like what industry are you in? Like,
Exactly.
is networking part of your line of work? If you're in the music industry, if you're influencer, if you're doing something like that, like a lot of the stuff that people come to LA for, like that's really when you're doing your work, is when you're connecting and networking
He
with
said
people.
she's 33.
33 or 34.
And yeah, that's way too old.
Which one is it, bro?
He said 33 or 34. I basically told my ex that if she wants to go to the club,
She can go as a
single girl.
Hey, man.
That's you guys. That's my brother, by the way.
That's funny.
Bro, it's if you love her,
Hey, look,
you got to have a serious conversation
also-
with her, man. I
look-
mean, like a come to Jesus talk.
and a lot of these conversations, for anybody looking to get into a relationship, this is why I think that friend is the first priority for a long time. I don't even think you should be sleeping with somebody until you know them, that you would be interested in dating them. But that's a whole nother conversation. But like, I think that if you were friends with somebody for like a few months at least before you start dating, you're going to see how they engage as a single person in those environments.
Yeah.
Right. And so now when you're in a relationship, like you said, that has trust, you've seen how they act single. You guys are on good terms and you're in a great relationship. Like, I'm not stressed if you're going to one of those environments, because it's like, I saw how you acted before, like we were together. Now you're in a relationship. I know you're going to conduct yourself in a positive way. And if you don't, then we have a conversation about it. That minute,
Right.
I didn't feel comfortable with that, or this or that, or like whatever. But like,
I think in most cases, most people, they don't have those difficult conversations. That's a difficult conversation to have.
Yeah, well.
You got to sit there and be like, hey, look, I understand you want to go hang out with your girls. I understand you want to kick it with your friends. I get that part. But do you guys always have to go out to the club to hang out and kick it?
There's other places.
There's other places. There's other places to go out and kick it.
Right.
And if she feels
casino, strip club.
if she feels that that's the place, well, we just gonna go to the club and this is what we gonna do, and I don't know why you tripping. Well, I mean, yeah, you might need to do some.
I always say that, like, I don't go out to the bars to just drink with my friends, because if I wanted to do something with my friends, there's a ton of things that we could do. Like, we
Right.
could play basketball, we could go hit the driving range. There's like so much to do. But if I'm out in that environment, I'm probably only there for one reason.
I'm a shark in the water.
Okay, so let's speak to that though. The reality of it, because I know we gave our names, but we never gave our ages.
Okay.
I think that part is relevant to a piece of the conversation also. When you think about it, because like you said, if she's in her 20s, in your 20s, you want that life. You want to get out, you want to have fun, you want to go out, you want to mingle, you want to meet somebody. As you start getting older, some of that changes. The club turned into a lounge, where, look, I don't want it crazy, I don't want it all wild, I don't want it off the chain. I want it relaxed and chill so I can come in the same way I went out.
Blue kind of pointed at that too. He's like, at a certain age,
at a
it's like,
certain age,
why are you
exactly.
even where's your mentality at?
Yeah. So, but I think that's the age gap. And like, that's why I said, depending on when they got in that relationship, because some people, they 18, LeBron James, 18 years old, high school sweetheart. He's been married to the same woman, but his lifestyle is conducive to where they can be in that type of environment if he so chooses.
Yeah.
You have people that are high school sweethearts that, 15, 20 years. So say 20 years in a marriage or relationship, 15 years. They get divorced, separate, 30 years old, 35, 40 years old, and now they want to live their best life.
And all of this is under the assumption that these people are looking for a relationship, right? Because if you're not looking for a relationship, then it's like there's no rules.
I'm going to tell you something, though. In reality, when you first get out of a long relationship, you're not looking to get into another long relationship. Yeah. You out there trying to find yourself, rediscover yourself, have some fun, enjoy your life, and be safe. And that's when you end up with 30-year-olds, 40 years old, and some of them inside the club, because that's what they're doing. Look, I'm out here to have fun. I was tied down for 15, 20 years.
I understand that, but if you get out of a situation like that, then you can be in the club.
Right.
But if it's a situation where like he's talking about
in a relationship,
But
that's not right. That's not cool.
That's also what people use. That's a sign that says that, look, I'm bored in my relationship also, and I may be looking for a way to get out of it. So if you don't, and like what they say, you either grow together or you grow apart. At the end of the day, if one person is saying, well, look, every weekend I'm going to the strip club or the bar, or I'm going to hang out, what type of relationship did you have to this point? Did you guys go out? Did you guys do things together? Did you have those type of experiences? Because if you didn't, you kind of set yourself up in a situation that you might not like at the end.
Okay, so maybe move on to the next question.
I think real quick.
Yeah, go
Charles,
for it.
right? Yeah. I think we should get a recap for Charles. I think Charles should answer some of these questions.
Charles, coffee or dinner date for a first date?
Dinner. I was listening to your guys.
Oh yeah, I sent him the stream.
Okay. All right, so you're on the dinner plan?
Yeah, dinner.
Okay.
Yes or no to flowers?
No flowers.
No flowers.
All right, cool. Respectable.
At least we all agree to that.
No first day.
All right, so let's kind of like switch the role a little bit. Like we were all assuming that the dude is looking for a relationship or the woman is looking for a relationship, but why does a girl make one guy wait for sex and give it up the first night to another guy?
I think that's a question for a woman, though.
But what do you guys think, though?
I think probably she either felt that she made a mistake by making the first guy wait too long and she lost that connection in that relationship that she wanted. And then the next guy that comes in, she's like, she doesn't want to make the same mistake. So, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, she drop it like it's hot. Or it just could be that she's just like, you know what? I'm all about trying to get it in. And it don't matter if this is our first date or our second date. If that's how you vibe and you roll, be true to who you are, but also let that person know that, look, I'm not out here trying to be in a relationship, or I'm just looking out here to have some fun, friends with benefits. There's a lot of that going on today. It's crazy.
Right. Anyone have any comments on that?
I agree.
Okay.
Oh, Sante is over there contemplating.
Man, I don't know.
Is it a good question, or is it kind of throw us off a little?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. I think I agree. Like that's, none of us in this room identify as women. So,
Right.
So you don't know, but I mean, I think it's an energy thing,
I also, just to like add that, what if the girl realized that she had given it up fast in the past, right? And that's her natural inclination. But now she wants to be taken a little more seriously, right? If a guy's interpretation, a girl gives it up to you the first night, right? Like you could be like, all right, I'm going to look past that. But also you're thinking, well, why did you give it up so fast, right? And then you might not be putting her in that wife category. So she might want to wait it out because she wants.
Now watch this.
I'm not personally thinking that.
What are you thinking?
I'm not personally. If a girl gives it up on her first night, I'm not thinking like she's any worse or.
So you could be very well married to a girl that gave it to you.
Yeah, I mean
first night.
that's crazy. That's crazy. Sorry but like if you have sex with somebody and your first thought is like, oh, they're not marriage material because they just had sex with me.
Yeah.
You just had sex with them.
What are
You're
you?
talking about
That's
yourself.
exactly.
So I was about to say
understand.
the same thing. You didn't have to take it. You could have been like, no, hold on, let's wait this out. But you can't call her.
That's hypocritical as
something,
hell.
And then you like, oh, you just gave it up on the first night. Well, you did the same thing. What's the difference?
There's no difference.
How can you sit here and crucify a woman for the same thing you just did? It's not like she raped you and took it. You laid down. You consented to this action with her, and then you want to try to shame her after it's over? That's completely
It's
wrong.
YouTube, so I don't know if we can say that word.
Oh,
you gotta
my,
be careful.
my bad.
What word?
That
I'm trying to hit you, bro.
I apologize.
What word
I'm
did you
not
say?
trying to offend anyone. I just want to make it clear that you both are consenting,
Yeah.
and we agreed to this. So in the end of it, you shouldn't be trying to body shame somebody,
Never.
because you feel like she gave it up too fast, and you were the guy that decided to take it, and now you want to talk about her in the end.
But okay, you guys are saying that this is how a guy should think, right? A mature guy. But do you think that's the consensus, the overall of how guys think?
Well, I don't think general public is very mature, and I think a lot of relationships fail because of that. So, I mean, we all can strive to work on things that seem like healthy. I mean, you have gut feelings that you get anxious or frustrated about certain things, and then you kind of let go of ego and realize, like, why am I thinking this way? Maybe this was hypocritical. It's not about like actually feeling that way all the time. It's about like checking yourself and like growing. And so like, yeah, I mean, I think the general consensus is probably like dudes are like, nah, like she slept with me on X day. Like I'm judging her for that. And it's like, dude, you would have slept with her on the first day. Like you're talking about yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, just do a little self-reflection first, maybe everybody, like in general, like whatever the consensus is about how guys or girls feel about something, like think about why you feel that way for a little while, and hopefully your relationships do well because of that.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it comes down to how you feel with that vibe, with that person. There's a lot of people out here that confuse love with lust. The sexuality of a relationship with the relationship itself. You know what I mean? It's like, our relationship is crazy and it's ridiculous and it's all this, and we have the greatest sex ever, and it's just always fun, and the sex is ridiculous, and we just have so much fun, and the sex is ridiculous. You said sex like 3 different times. What else is going on in your relationship? Are you really in love or are you in lust? That's a part of where it all starts from. If you're in a relationship with somebody, you're talking to them. In most cases, if that person has that it for you. You know what I mean? You know it when you look at them, when you talk to them, you have that feeling inside. You know what I'm saying? And it may be like, I don't know, hold on, man. It may be that, I'm looking at the physical, but man, her head is strong. She got a good vibe about her. I feel comfortable when I'm with her. So you're going to notice that in the first few conversations, right? You agree? Santi?
Maybe.
Maybe. Give me.
You will always see indications that something is off. Like, it's always a good thing to feel good.
Right.
But I do think that, like, over time, you look at 3 months, you look at 6 months, you look at a year, there's a lot of different things that you learn about a situation.
Definitely.
When you meet somebody's family, when you meet, there's a lot of different stages where you're like, oh, like, maybe this doesn't feel right, which is why, again, be friends with somebody for a while. But
The divorce rate is 50%.
Yeah.
So if people have gone through getting married, falling in love, and entering a contract with somebody and then thinking they know them and obviously they don't, how can I say on a first date or first 3 months or first 6 months that I know this woman? It's really impossible.
I mean, people also grow and change, and life changes. Like, your core is obviously going to stay the same,
Right.
hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, people evolve and their preferences change, and they realize different stuff about their childhood and stuff that they want for themselves. And, you got to be patient through that. I think the most important thing is how comfortable are you with adversity with that person? How well do you handle conflict?
Right.
How does that person grow? When you have challenges, how do they deal with that? How do you guys both manage stress individually and collectively?
Stress
Like,
level,
those are the things, knowing exactly who someone is in that moment is going to be challenging, but knowing how they deal with things is going to set you up for a productive relationship, hopefully.
Yeah.
So you guys remember during COVID when the divorce rate went back through the roof, right? You know why?
Because everybody was like,
Because everybody
hold up. I'm spending too much time with you.
They had to be at home with the person that they married, man. And
Exactly.
So when you think about the totality of relationships, right? In a 24-hour day, how much time do you really spend between work, kids, responsibility, if you're working out or anything else, traffic? You going to work for 8 hours a day, right? So that's 8 hours that you don't have with that person. If you have to go into an office, they're in that office with other people for 8 hours out of that day.
Yeah.
So let's
You had
just
the
say
commute, you had meals, you had all kinds.
you had all that. So
yeah,
you can
parents.
legitimately say you're at 12 hours of the day is already gone that you do not see your mate, that you live with, that you're in a relationship with, that you're married to, right? So if everybody get home at 5, 6 o'clock, the time you get home, you come home, you change, trying to get dinner ready, or you're doing something with your kids if you have kids, or you're getting ready for the next day. You go to bed, like you said, you go to bed 8, 9, 10, 11, or whatever. In that time, you maybe spend 3 hours with the person that you're in a relationship with. And if you guys had an argument or a debate earlier that day or the day before, it's kind of going to carry over, right? So you're barely talking to each other. So now how much time are you really spending with them? How much time have you invested in that? But you're married, but you're in a relationship with them, right? So it's one of those things where you kind of got to figure it out. And what happened with COVID was a lot of these people was like, man, I got to sit at home. I can't go to the gym. I can't go to the bar. I can't go to the club. I can't go to work. I got to sit at home with you. I have to stay inside this house with you all day. And I just realized I can't stand you. That was a reality. And then some people was like, you know what? This sparked a whole new fire in our relationships. So it's crazy. When
I do
you
think the
about
difference there is, how do you handle stress together?
That's the part.
How do you handle challenges? How do you handle, like, if you handle things like that together well, then COVID is something where, it's easy. Not easy, but like, you work through it. It feels good. You're like, okay,
Right.
This is a partner. This is somebody that's
Do you
gonna
have
help.
to go through something to know how you're going to handle it, or like you said, setting.
I think you do have to go through something, because
You learn a lot when you go through something.
you learn a lot, you grow a lot, and then you find out if this person is really the person that's going to have your back and support you through anything. There are a lot of people that either had an accident and something changed their life dramatically, and to that effect, they couldn't deal with the stress of it, which caused a problem in their relationship, which they ultimately end up separating. It was like, oh, they just lost their mind because this, that, or the other. everybody gets affected by a lot of things differently, right? And sometimes the closest person to you is the person that you're in a relationship with. So then they're always like, oh, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? And then you get frustrated because they're asking you and they're checking on you. You get frustrated with them because they're asking you, are you okay? And then you blow up on them and they're like, well, what did I do to you? I was just trying to make sure you're okay. But if you have those conversations, you have a different level of understanding. You're like, look, I need like 10 or 15 minutes just to kind of get my mind right and chill out. And then we can talk about whatever. Or look, I'm going to tell you what happened, but I kind of don't want to talk about it today. Hopefully we can talk about it later today or tomorrow. If you have that type of understanding, then you may be able to have that type of success. But it still comes to, like Sandy said earlier, that level of communication.
Yeah, no doubt.
So up until this point, we've been talking about how two people interact with each other, right? There's a period of time that you need to really understand, you need to go through things, but in dating, people have options, right? So you're not sure if this person is the person that is going to be the most compatible and you guys deal with stress together and all that, right? Because you got 4 other options that you're considering, right? Mm-hmm. So if whether this is a guy, girl, unisex question. So if you're talking to somebody, what's the length of time that you're willing to compete with her other options before you say, I'm out?
I don't think you should be competing with any other options because it's like this. If you take a glass that's empty, right? And then you take 3 other glasses and you put them on the table. So say that one glass.
What the hell's happening right now?
Wait. D. This is a simple question, bro.
But can I go through my illustration?
No. It's too deep.
Bro, just understand.
We need all perspectives.
Understand what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, so you have 4 glasses on the table, right? You got a 16-ounce bottle of water. Can you fill up all 4 of those glasses with that 16-ounce
average? On average, it is about 8 ounces per glass.
So 4 glasses?
I mean, that's a small glass too. Like you could easily fit 12 in a beer glass.
I'm talking about regular glasses.
I get your point, right? But
what the hell is going on?
But the reality is people do have options, and you have options, and she has options, right? So it is kind of a competition initially.
I'm confused. I'm still trying to do the calculations of the 4 cups and the ounces. I'm like, hold up.
Blue's like, damn, I'm thirsty now.
Hell yeah.
I just believe that, man, if you're investing in too many cups, you can't pour into everything that you have into one. You want to be able to know that at the end of the day, I gave him all. I gave you 100% of my attention, 100% of my focus. And then you can decide from there. And some people say, oh, well, you just wasted time. No, you didn't. You invested that time in somebody.
Okay. I get what you're saying, but let's say girl, she's been single for 2 years, right? She's looking for a boyfriend. She decides to go on dating apps and she wants to vet out a few people, right?
Right.
And the guy, same thing with him too, right? So how long, and I get what you're saying, you should put all your effort into one person, but you're not going to from day one put all your effort when you got 4 options.
I say you spend more than 3 dates, and I think you start having a conversation about like
cutting out everyone else.
Not necessarily like, but yeah, like
Still
like
goes
where are
back
you
to
at?
that communication.
I don't need to know the details of your life and all that stuff. You have no ties to me or commitments to me from that standpoint. But like, are you interested in like a relationship? Like, is this something that you want to invest in? And if they say no, then you know where it's at. And if you're comfortable with that, then great. And
so what if they say yes, but you know they're still fresh in the dating scene, right?
Yeah.
And they probably got 4 other options, right?
Right.
So at what point do they need to cut their ties with everyone? How long?
If you say yes, I want to investigate a relationship. At that point, that's between the 2 of you. So they just communicate to other people. Hey, I started seeing somebody. I'm gonna take it seriously. Like it doesn't need to be. They don't need to like ghost people or whatever. But like it's like like, are we taking this serious? Because I would do the same thing.
How long into it? You said 3rd date.
3rd, 4th date. Yeah, I mean it depends on how you're feeling a situation, but. Like if you go on 3 dates in a row in 3 days, then no. But like if you're talking about a few weeks and you really like you start texting somebody more, you call them on the phone, you're talking about stuff, like I'd say like once you are comfortable, whenever that is, once you're comfortable inviting somebody over to your house multiple times, at that point, like because you can feel it. You can feel like I want to spend time with this person. This isn't just like I'm free today and I want to hang out. This is like after work, I want to see this person.
So when the feelings start getting more
Yeah.
intimate and more serious,
Yeah, you start having conversations.
then you have that conversation, and also ensuing that there's, hey, you know, are we exclusive type of conversation? So around 3-4 dates is what you're saying.
In my opinion.
You know, it varies. I agree with what Asante is saying. You know, it comes down to being open and honest and just having that communication. Like, look, I know you probably got 3 other guys that want to talk to you or whatever. There's probably, you know, another woman or 2 that want to talk to me. We can keep playing this game or we can see where this is going.
So let's just put you guys in a little bit of a challenging situation.
Real quick,
yeah, go for it.
before we go, let me share my opinion
Yes,
because
please.
I differ from them.
Go for it.
Oh, shit.
I like
I'm
the
not
conflict.
I'm not bringing up my expectations before she asked me. Like
That's a
I'm
good
not
point.
bringing it up.
It's always the girl. It's a relationship works out better
Yes.
when the girl asks, "Hey, you know, are we
Yes.
serious?" Because
So-
if the guy asks, then it's kind of like,
yeah, I'm putting pressure on her, or it's a situation where, like, I've always just been like, all right, if you want to just let me be the dude that you just hangs out with you for 6 months, then you fell into your own lane, and that's fine. And now you've slowly drifted out of
But how do you
any
feel?
possibility.
How do you feel about her though in that situation? Are you saying it's because that's an indication for you that your partner is serious about it?
Yes, because
If
for
they bring
me,
that up, what
yes.
if they're feeling the same way though?
oh, then it's not going. Then just personally, for me,
Yeah.
we're probably never going to cross that bridge if she'll never say that. Because for me, I'm looking at it like,
But what if she don't know how to articulate that to you?
then that's her loss.
You won't try to see if you can start that conversation.
Yeah, what if you
just to
really
see
like
where
her?
it's going? I mean, if you're really, really heartfelt and you.
Because that to me
feel it
says
with
you
her-
don't have feelings for her yet.
No, I think that if I have feelings for her, then I shouldn't really have to ask, are you thinking about a relationship?
I think you
Are
should though. That's the communication part, because then you go into, oh, I assume, or you start leaving things out because it's not being talked about, which leads
think-
to you thinking that she's probably not into you, and she just probably don't know how to put it in words to how she feel about you in a relationship. And if you brought it up, then she'd be like, oh my God, I was wondering how we were going to have this conversation. And I didn't know how to say it.
I think a girl will always bring it up.
Yes, thank you. That's how I
From
feel.
my experience, I agree.
That's how I feel.
There are some that will, and there are some that
If
I've
they don't
experienced
bring
that
it
they won't
up,
bring it up.
if they don't bring it up, then they're probably not as invested as you think they are. Because if they will bring it up if they want to know.
I mean, I think it'll happen naturally, personally.
Yeah.
Because like by the time you're hanging out with somebody for a few months and you're like
You definitely
hanging out with them all the
should
time,
know
like
something.
you're introducing them to your friends, like they're hanging out with other people, like, and at some point it's going to be like somebody like the girl that my girlfriend right now, Darnell, we hung out at over at Frank's place, right? Mm-hmm. And we've been hanging out for like a month or whatever. And at one point somebody says like, oh, your boyfriend, this, and that. And her and I hadn't had that conversation yet. It's gonna naturally occur
naturally
because somebody
kinda
else has
flowed
just said
into
like
that
y'all are
avenue, like,
connected,
oh.
y'all are
Yeah,
vibing, y'all look really good together,
Yeah,
y'all have
yeah.
good energy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, like I just assumed that
That's
you
the
guys.
natural progression.
That's
and
what
the
I'm
flow
saying.
of it, though.
So it's gonna happen,
Right. So you didn't force it, you didn't push it. It
So
just
yeah,
naturally
if it
happened.
never comes up,
Yeah.
I agree with you. I don't think
Yeah.
that's a good relationship
So-
because if you're in a good relationship, that conversation is going to come up.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying. I'm
fair.
thinking back to the long relationship I had. I never once asked her if she wants to be my girlfriend. She never brought it up either. We just assumed after a certain period of time that, hey, she dropped everyone else out of her life and I did too, and we were just together.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we would just say girlfriend, boyfriend, but it was never like a conversation. I mean, I'm not saying that conversation can't come up,
Yeah.
but I do agree with what you're saying. It just goes in that
Going to
direction.
happen.
But but that goes to, as Asante said, man, where you spend so much time with each other, you're around each other's friends, around
Yeah.
family, and that vibe is there. And then sometimes, yeah, you won't have to talk about it. Somebody else will be like, oh man, well, this your lady, this your girl or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, oh yeah, and they're like, oh, I didn't know that we made it official, but okay, yeah,
happen.
it'll just naturally take its course because it's not like it's forced.
Yeah.
Where
you
you
come
like,
up, you come up and somebody's like, hey, is this your girl? And you're like, I don't know. We haven't had that conversation.
right. That'd be real awkward. It might start a fight.
I think we got somebody new in the chat says something. A woman who knows what she wants and she's being honest, I believe her energy/conversation will speak volumes, and that should be confirmation for the man only if he's seeking the same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
That's a good point.
That's true.
That goes to the same thing like what we were just talking about. That flow.
Yeah, that's true.
Magnetic D, I don't know if you're listening to respond, but how would you feel if a guy initiates that conversation? If a guy, you're starting to feel like it's good energy. Nobody else has necessarily named your relationship, but a guy brings that up to you. Do you feel like that's a positive thing, or do you feel like there's a responsibility for you and your perspective of like women and being in relationships to bring that up? What is your perspective? If you feel comfortable asking,
We'll definitely address it when he comments. But I appreciate you addressing the comments.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe just another totally different spin on this. Thoughts on dating single mothers.
Why everybody get so quiet?
I'm going.
I have a whole ass thing about
I got a whole thing too, but it's such a touchy subject.
It is.
So you
I
know
think
what?
it needs to be addressed.
Go
though,
ahead,
right?
Darnell.
I'll go ahead.
How are you going to fill this cup, Darnell?
I'll go ahead.
Put the cups on the table.
I'm gonna fill this motherfucker up.
Now there's 5 cups on the table, and one of them is small.
So look.
That one's already getting filled. So,
There's a cup stepping system that we're gonna go through this process with.
no, we're not.
No more cups, please. No cups. No more cups.
You know what?
Speaking of cups, if you guys are thirsty, I got water bottles right there too.
Okay. Speaking of this topic,
Yeah.
I have experienced that. It's interesting. Sometimes it's cool, sometimes it's not. I think it still depends on the person. I think it depends on if they are truly over their ex and if their ex is truly over them. It's crazy. I seen this dude over on Instagram. He made a comment. He did this video where his face, his nose was busted and his lip was bleeding. He was talking about the chick told him that he can come over to the house and that her and her baby daddy wasn't together anymore, and everything was cool. Well, the baby daddy showed up to the house and was like, "Man, I pay all the bills up in here." Whoop, dude.
Right.
So it turned into a whole situation. So it's one of those things, man, where when you think about it.
So rule number 1 is there has to be
You
no
have to-
feelings for the person that they, not like,
I'm gonna tell you what I ask. I'll ask people like this. Look, let's have a conversation about this. You have kids, I have kids. I'll tell you about me and my ex or whatever, and we can go from there. And let's just see. And then I'm like, okay, so how the relationship end? Oh, well, and they'll go into the spiel or whatever took place or however it happened. Okay, so let me ask you, did you forgive that person for whatever they did in the relationship? And did you forgive yourself for your role in that situation, right? Because if you don't do that, to me, it means that you're still going to hold on to whatever happened to you from that relationship. You're still going to have some ill feelings, or you're going to feel a certain type of way, or they may feel that way. So, which will lead to problems when they realize, or they tell them like, "Oh, so did you tell them that you're going to be dating?" Oh, no, I'm not telling them anything. Well, that may be somebody that you may want to walk away from because she's trying to hide it from her kid's dad that she's dating somebody.
so I just want to comment on 3 things that I heard you say. Number 1 is there's got to be full transparency. Number 2
Definitely.
is there can't be like a love type of, emotional connection with that person that's going to taint the new relationship. And
Right.
thirdly is you said if both parties have kids, right? Then that's a different dynamic
That's a
versus
different
one
dynamic.
person having a kid and the other not, right?
It definitely is. It definitely is. I've been in an experience where when the woman didn't have any kids and it was hard for her to understand, some of the things that I had to do as a father. She didn't get it because she didn't have that experience. So how can you expect somebody to have that? And even when you try to teach them, they still have to have the understanding to, okay, well, I can deal with this or I can't deal with that. Then you have women that be like, you know what, I don't want this. This is too much for me. The same way a guy say, a woman with a couple of kids, he don't want to deal with it. But there are men and women out there that will take on that responsibility of dealing with somebody that has kids.
I think not just single mothers, or let's not just focus on women. I think in general, single parents dating, the thing that they need to realize is that sometimes self-work is the most important thing. So I'm not really concerned about all of the details of what happened or this or that. I would date a single mother, but it has to be, the markings of I'm working on myself. I realize there's mistakes that we both made in the past, and I'm bettering myself. And I think a lot of people honestly don't better themselves nowadays, and so that's women and men. So I think it's important for people to put in the process of talking to somebody or
Still goes back to that communication, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about they need some therapy.
Well, that's another level of communication, because if they're not understanding enough, know their own emotions and feelings that they have to talk it out with somebody, how can they open up and be open to receive or give from anybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to add, if you are somebody who really wants children,
Yes, that's a serious question.
there's other factors at play, and it completely depends on who you are, right? Because you could really want kids, and the fact that somebody already has a couple kids or one kid and something like that, maybe they don't want more kids. So but my thing is that no matter where you are on the spectrum of your own relationship with being a parent, seeing how someone else is raising their kid could be a very positive thing in seeking a serious relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's something that really divides a lot of people, is like differences on parenting tactics, right? But how attractive would it be if you find a partner and like you really admire their relationship with their kid, and they maybe want another kid or another couple, whatever you want, right? And that aligns.
Right.
You see how they are as a parent. You see like their child, and like you develop a good relationship with their child. Like it's almost like insurance. Like so much of what's difficult for people in relationships, you're getting an opportunity to see all of that up front. So it's like, and develop it over time. But like, it could be seen as a very positive thing. That's all I'm saying. Like it could be really powerful. But again, it completely depends on what you want. And I think people just need to be honest with themselves. Like if it makes you uncomfortable that somebody has a kid, obviously like the overlap of expectations and stuff with an ex, because for them it's not just an ex, it's somebody that they're going to have to be communicating with for a long time. Like you said, how is their relationship with that person? But again, you can see how they deal with that. If they make you feel secure from a relationship standpoint, and you see from a character perspective how they're dealing with the father or mother or whatever of their child, like that could be really positive. It could be negative. And you can make determinations and decisions based off of that. So it could be a really good thing. I mean, we talked about earlier, like, is it important to see somebody go through challenges to develop a better relationship? Well, like, shit, that's a pretty extreme challenge that you're seeing somebody go through. How do they handle it?
Yeah.
If they handle that in a way that's cohesive and works with your lifestyle preferences, then that could be really amazing.
Definitely.
Charles, do you have any comments?
I feel like the older you get, the more it's normalized to date a single mother. Because when you're younger, and a young girl has a kid, it's kind of weird. But the older you get, the more of those girls that were younger have older kids. So when the girl that I have now, she already had a kid too. So do I. I have a 12-year-old son. So like I said, it's kind of normal. The more older you get.
Two things is both of you guys have a child, so it's a little bit more understanding. And then second is as you get older, you realize like people are obviously going to have more life experience, so that's just kind of a normal thing that comes with the age. Cool. I think we had the Magnetic D address one of the comments, but I forget what we were talking about.
Not yet.
Hold on. Is Moro, are you a single mama? Are you a
Yeah, we got no information. Just
I know.
single moms are the best. I was raised by a single mother. Shouts to single mothers.
Hey,
Definitely.
love single mothers.
Yeah.
Shout out to every single mother.
Yeah.
Single mothers make it happen.
Yes.
All right, if you guys had to choose
Single
between,
Hey.
oh, there he
that
goes.
comment
There he
right
goes. Yeah. See what
Of
it says.
course, Magnetic D. Of course, I'd be open to having a conversation with him. One, it'll make him stand out from the other contenders. Two, it'll let me know that he's grounded. Three, energy speaks for itself.
Completely agree.
150%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because also on the other side, I mean, again, all these conversations could go very different ways.
Completely.
If a dude approaches you and is like, hey, I want to make sure that you're not sleeping with other people. It's like energy. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But if it's like, hey, I really like you. I want to know, like,
Dude's been
how do
approaching you saying
feel?
that?
I'm speaking from the conversation perspective. All right. That was relevant to
It's okay.
to Miss D. That was relevant to Miss D's response.
Okay, all right. My
If
bad,
it-
my bad.
but no matter how this goes, right? You know, if somebody approaches you and says, "Hey, I'm starting to really feel like I could see a relationship developing," what's your perspective of that? Where are you at in your life? Is that something you want right now? Because now it's like there's no expectations. I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm just telling you, like, I'm just asking, where are you at?
Yeah.
Is that something you're open to? Is that something you want to talk about?
Yeah.
Anyways,
Is there any part
Anyways.
let's say assume everyone's single and a
Oh,
single
and that's
Cool.
actually a woman, not a guy.
magnetic
correct.
field?
Yes.
Okay. So let's just assume that you're single, you're in the dating pool, right? Is it okay to hit on a girl at the gym?
No, don't do it.
I don't personally, because it's, oh man, I feel like the gym is where I put my head down and I work on me. So when I step out into regular life, then I can do all that other stuff and talk to women and approach them. I feel like at the gym it's too much. I gotta see these women every day. Like I work out here all the time. I'm not gonna ruin my time because I want to talk to every woman in the gym.
So
I
you
mean-
said if a woman approached you, you wouldn't talk to her?
Oh, I said I'm not gonna approach the women,
Oh,
but if they want to come to me and talk, I'm not gonna be like, get away from me.
Yeah.
Is everyone aligned with that? Because I'm completely opposing to that.
Really?
Opposed to talking to somebody or opposed to not talking to somebody?
I'm saying that I think the best place to talk to somebody is at the gym, because if you're the type of person who you're working 24/7, you go to the gym every day. That's like your only time that you're out and about, right? I met all you guys at the gym, right?
Very
So
true.
I'm talking to every single person
That's
I
because we're
can.
hooping together, though.
Yeah, it was more of a friendly
That's
thing
a social
than me
activity.
being up like, oh, make sure you drop your waist on that squat, shorty. Like, that's not.
look.
That's not really.
I'm
we're
not
not
one
gonna be
for-
having a podcast
Yeah.
a week later.
Yeah, no, we're off air. YouTube has canceled all of our memberships, and we are no longer.
I've never used that line, but
Hey, look, it's kind of, I try to stay away from gender norms and stuff, but I know for a fact that an attractive girl versus an attractive guy has an entirely different experience at a gym.
Definitely.
Yes.
An attractive girl is just getting, like, it's so, I mean, it's an uncomfortable experience. I was with my girlfriend at LA Fitness the other day, and we had been shooting around together, and then she's like, I'm gonna go work out for a little bit, and I'm like, okay. So I keep playing basketball. She comes back in 5 minutes later. She's like, I just can't do it. Like, I'm just uncomfortable, because people are just like the energy of everything. Like, I want to work out in a workout class. I don't want to be in this gym. And I was like, it wasn't like a pretentious, annoying thing. It was just like, she wants to be focusing on working out. She doesn't want dudes coming up and talking to her and asking if she needs help lifting a 20-pound dumbbell. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, stay out of my space. It doesn't matter how attractive you are. It's just, I think it's just the wrong place to do that, knowing that there's a lot of dudes that are saying weird shit like that. So you coming up and saying something nice, the blockers are already up.
But so to everybody's defense to that, there are the ones that go to the gym like they're going to the club. I'm talking about makeup done, perfume.
For you
and
personally,
make sure
is that the
they
girl that you
have-
want to talk to?
For me, like that's the one. No, it's not.
Yeah, I want to talk to that girl.
And so because I look at it like you're seeking a specific type of attention, and I get it. You know what? You're beautiful. You want to wear and
Yeah,
look. How you
everybody
wanna
can
look.
do their own thing.
You can do your own thing.
And some guys are going to be attracted to that.
But we know and we have seen the ones that come in the gym to work out
Yeah.
and the ones that's there looking for somebody to help them work out. You know, there's a difference.
Yeah.
You know, you come in there like, okay, well, and it could be that, you know what, they don't know how to work out. They don't know how to use the equipment. That's different, right? Then you talk to them about it, you help them, you show them, and then you leave them alone. But then it's the whole other side of it. It's like, oh, she's, looking around trying to see. I had a story of a gym, man.
Women have tricked us though, because they're not dumb. Women are extremely bright. They know how to use the machine. They know how to look like, oh, can you help
Man,
me
have
with
you seen
this?
the ones in there watching YouTube trying to do the workouts and they still
That's
have
what
the
I
form
do.
wrong?
They know how to do. That's the same thing I do. I look up the workout
But
too.
they have the form wrong, is what I'm saying. So I'm not saying,
Bro,
that
but
they're-
that's not a female thing to
no, that's
assume that
guys
people
do the same thing. Too.
Yeah, like that. This is off track because we're far off track. We got to keep our YouTube memberships, guys.
Okay, hold on. I wanna stand by what I'm saying though, because
Stand
you said that you guys, the reason why I met you guys was because of basketball, right? Well, yeah, that's true. That's a totally easy way to make friends. But just like I met you guys, I'm promising you guys that I'm gonna have a bunch of girls come on this podcast that I met at LA Fitness, that I'm just friends with, and I've never once approached a girl with
that's
this.
wait, but we're
specifically
talking
for
about
this.
relationships.
That's
We're talking
different.
about that's different.
But you said it all starts with friends.
No, but you said approach them as if you wanted to have relationship with them,
Yeah.
not friendship. That's
Yeah, that's-
different. Now, if you having friends at the gym, that's one thing.
I've probably been on the majority of my dates from girls that I met at the gym.
so
And I don't want to be the type of dude who's like, hey, do you need help with this weights or whatever like
Right,
that.
right,
I'll
right,
talk to
right,
her
right.
one time if the vibe's
I'll
there.
ask this: was it a one time thing where you saw a girl, you approached her, and you asked her out, or was it like I've been around this person quite a bit, and like you're in a social environment? I've seen you at the gym 15 times, maybe. You know that I'm not just creeping. Like maybe at that point you have a conversation when you're both at the drink fountain, or you're
I
both.
feel like it is creeping if you've seen that girl for 2-3 weeks and you haven't said a word to her. I think it's better just to say, get the interaction, going. And usually for me, it's just a real quick thing. I'm not sitting there hovering, trying to mess up her whole workout. I'm like in and out, hello, how you doing? You look beautiful, this and that. And then if it's there, then I'll take the phone number and then we'll be, on a date.
you
And if it's
macking at
not,
the gym.
I'll never talk to her again. I'll never bug
Hey,
her
man, hold
again.
on. I got a rebuttal to
macking
that.
at the gym.
Hold on, bro. I got a rebuttal
Yeah.
to that. Man, look.
Bro, I meet the majority of the
we
people.
don't have any
at-
girls. We don't have any girls sitting here with us this time, right?
Yeah.
People are like, stay the fuck away from me. Like, look at that shit, bro. Like,
Look, just because one girl said that, that's not the whole.
So, hold on.
but
Let
the
me-
only
let me-
only representation that we have from women right now in this conversation as men that
You
we're
don't
having
even know
is
if she's a
approaching.
girl or not, man. She could be identifying, and it's
So let me
says stay
hold
out of
on.
my
Hey,
space.
look, let me get back to my rebuttal because we were at the gym when I met Brother O. We just won the game, right? So you know how everybody take a break, they go walk outside, get some water, stretch their legs or whatever. Come outside, like, man, where did he go? What is he doing? Walk around the corner, I'm like, okay, he doing his thing, you over there talking or whatever. Like on SpongeBob when it'd be like 2 hours later.
Are you talking about me? Yeah, that girl, she was super down. She's like, I'm hella down for the podcast.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah.
wait to come on it, whatever. There's probably 4 or 5 other girls that I met at LA Fitness that are like
But here's
that.
the thing: not every dude has a podcast. You're talking about
That's
getting on
true.
here. If you're saying, "Hey, look, I'm starting a podcast with a bunch of people from the gym, and I'm not trying to interrupt you, but if you would ever be interested in coming on, I'd love to talk to you." Out of your space.
That's
is
cool.
That is.
I
Totally
give it
fine.
to you, but he set the stage for it, so which is the reason why I didn't interrupt it. I'm like, no, man, we'll be in a minute. My man handled his business, and that's how he finished it. He had the introduction. He talked to him, told him what was up. Talked to him.
Don't give
about
up
it.
his whole game plan.
I'm
You
not
give him
giving
my
up
man's
his
whole
game
game
my
plan.
game
What
plan
the-
ain't a secret,
Man,
bro.
he 100 with it, bro.
Nah, I know, I'm playing,
I stood there, was like, man, look at him. Then he's like, oh, now I got this channel, this, that, and the other. Woo, man, we can make this happen. And then it was like, all right, cool. 45 minutes later, we had to go play another game.
And I'm gonna say this too, based on what you said. You said that not everyone has a podcast, right? I never initially approached the girls from like a podcast perspective, right?
Right.
Initially, I'm like, hey, you look great. I've never seen you before. And then I'll say something, and if the vibe is there, then I'll know it's there. And if it's not, I'll be like, all right, I'll walk away and I'll never bother that person again. But if they have a boyfriend, then I put the spin on it for the podcast. Like, hey, you probably have a lot of great insight to be, bringing onto this podcast that I started and whoop-de-whoop. So I'm just going to stand by on this and say that the best place to talk to a girl is at the gym. I know everyone's disagreeing with me. I know
I
people
didn't
in the
say I
comments,
disagree with
but I think I would rather meet her at the gym or a grocery store than online.
Store. I like grocery store.
I'm a
Whole Foods be
I'm
hitting.
gonna put it like this.
Yeah, the Sprouts and all the farmers marketplaces.
A lot of guys that I have met in my lifetime, I have met playing basketball or at the gym. And like you said, it's a place that you go and
That's a social activity.
Yeah, it is a social activity.
It's also exercise.
People that want a social activity, they do
Team
workout
sports,
classes.
Workout class, yeah.
You don't necessarily have to take a workout class to have a social activity, though.
No, I mean, no. I'm saying if you're trying to work on fitness and you are like open to talking to people maybe during your workout and like doing group stuff, I think people do Pilates classes, fitness classes.
Yeah.
And there's also people that are in there that are like, I like Pilates, stay away from me. But I'm just saying, like, if somebody's like fucking hitting a leg press,
Let me
don't go talk
let
to
me put the you in the hot seat, all right? Let's say you're single, right? And you're walking around at the gym doing your workout, you're super focused, right?
Yeah.
And some girl in her mind, she comes and she knows she's not gonna sit there and try to take up too much of your time. She just
Yeah.
wants to come and see what's up. You either tell her yes or no, right? And in more words than that, right? There's a little
Right.
bit of small talk, but she's in and out. Is that gonna bother you? Is that
Again-
gonna really put a damper on your whole entire time at the gym if she comes for like 10 seconds, says hello, and then walks away?
Again, I think that I'm not for gender norms, but attractive men and attractive women have entirely different experiences.
I'm
at a
saying
gym.
if you were in that situation, and if she did that and she didn't come and try to like talk to you for 5
But
minutes,
it's different. If a girl comes up sorry, I'll answer your question first.
go for it.
Me personally, I'm not bothered because there's no reason for me to be bothered because that shit doesn't really happen. The girl that's going in the gym, that shit is happening 5 times every single time she's in the gym.
Yes.
I mean,
If that shit was happening to me my whole workout every time, and I'm just worried about like, I don't even really want to do squats when there's certain dudes around because I know that they're looking and I don't want to do this. I'm trying to like be mindful about my workout and how I look. No, I don't want somebody coming and talking
Okay,
to me.
I'm gonna tell you the data, okay? Out of all the times that I've talked to anyone at the gym, I've only had one girl ever tell me, this is my time to work out. I don't really want to be bothered. Only one time.
'cause that's rude.
And she was super nice about it too, but I was like, I totally get it, right? No other girl has ever told me that I don't have 15 seconds to take a break in between I'm not talking to her while she's doing her set. I'm like, all right, she took a rest. Let me go see what's up. And then I'll be out.
I will say,
One time, only once.
doing something like this though, we have to assume that not everybody watching is as respectful and cordial in those situations as you are.
I am very respectful and cordial.
If you say that gyms are the best place to talk to girls,
Everyone's
they're not going to
turn
have the experience that you provide.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I mean, I guess. I guess that's a good point because I do notice a lot of guys do what you say, and I want to throw up in my mouth when I see them. They do this thing where they hover.
Hover, yep.
They're trying to they're trying
Play
to
the
find their
mirrors,
end.
watch, yeah.
Like I've heard of situations where a guy ran on a treadmill for like a year next to a girl, and then finally worked up the courage to ask her out for coffee, and she said no. Like, dude, you should have just said that the first time you met her. You know what I mean? And you would have known. But it's like, it's not about, can I help you with the weights? Can I do this? Like, I'm pretty direct. Like, I thought you were attractive and I just wanted to see what's up. Oh, it's a no. I'll never bother you
So
again.
I'll say this because I do training, and if I see a woman or even guys in there doing a workout or something and they're doing it the wrong way, I will be like, look, hold on, I don't want to stop you. I just want to tell you that you need to correct this part of your form, and if you don't, this is the result that you can have. And show them the correct way, then I'll spin off and leave. That's where that part's in. That's where that ends at. Because I don't know if y'all seen, but some people be in the gym, man, all wrong.
Yeah.
About to blow their whole back out,
Yeah.
trying to lift the wrong way or trying to lift the weights are too heavy. You know what I'm saying? And it's something that they either saw on a video, something that they seen somebody else doing, and they think that they can do it when they gotta understand that you have to work up to that.
So real quick,
Go for it.
because I understand what you're saying. And honestly, that's how I am outside of the gym. I would approach women and talk like that same way that you're saying. I think for me, and possibly I think from what I know about Asante as well, I think you are able to be a little more extroverted and be okay with seeing a lot of people often.
And it's not just that too. I think I've developed the skill to like read the situation, right?
Yeah.
She's with her boyfriend. You're obviously not going to go talk to her then. She's, there's a lot of
Why not?
situation I mean, you could. You don't know that that's her boyfriend, but if you know
Wait,
very
let's-
well that
yeah.
that's her boyfriend, I'm not gonna go talk to you. I'm not gonna, encroach on that space of yours. If I notice that you're in the middle of a set and you got a crazy workout going on, like read the situation. You know what I mean? Not every situation is appropriate for you to go and talk to somebody. But if it's a totally appropriate situation, then why not? I mean, there's nothing to lose.
Like for instance, for me, and I understand what you're saying, and I agree with that. If I could put it in a different to spin it so that you kind of get what I'm saying a little better. I'm saying it's times when I won't go to LA Fitness, even though I love all of y'all and y'all are my close friends. I'll go to a different LA Fitness because I don't have the energy to say what's up, hi, hello, all of that. And I don't want to walk by y'all and be like, leave me alone today.
Yep.
And so that's why I don't want to talk to women at the gym, because it's gonna be a day where I'm like, yo, I don't feel like talking to y'all.
But that's not how the women feel all the time, and that's not the majority of them. That's like such a small percentage of women that go there thinking, I don't want to talk or be talked to
No, I'm
by
saying
anybody.
I think
hold up.
that
That's right.
I feel that way where I wouldn't want to be at the gym. It doesn't sound ideal for me to walk past the treadmills and have different girls be like, hey. For me, that would bother me,
So
and it would mess up my
I can
workout.
definitely speak to that because when I'm training and stuff, there have been times when we've been at the LA Fitness, the one out here, and you can barely get through a set because you know so many people there, and everybody's walking up to you, hey man, what's going on, man? And so then you're like, and when you take that whole process, it'll start out 30 seconds here, a minute here, and then before you know it, you spent half an hour talking to people in the gym instead of getting your workout. I literally will take and go work out at the other one in Mission Viejo, where all those people that I play ball with, they don't come walking by.
But let me just say this. I'll tell you the average duration of how long an interaction lasts usually whenever I go talk to a girl at the gym, 20 seconds, 30 seconds.
But take that 20
you add
seconds and
that-
multiply that by 5 to 6, 7 to 10 to 15
So
different
multiply
people.
that by
So it
5
adds
times.
up.
So that means there's only a minute out of her day.
Nah, but that's energy, bro.
It's your day. It's not about her.
It's
We
not her,
saying it's
talking
your
about day.
energy.
Yeah.
You're in the gym and people are saying, hey.
Let's just say I talked to 10 people that day, right? That's like 5 minutes. What, I can't spare 5 minutes to
It's not the minutes, it's the energy of you.
I got a
Look,
limited
look,
energy when it comes to that.
That's why I said at the beginning, you're slightly different than me.
Yeah,
where
right.
I'm like,
Introvert,
I'm a
extrovert
little
shit.
more
Right.
introverted, where I can't just do that.
And what he said is,
I think I should have been in sales because I could take rejection and not even think about it.
It's not a rejection thing.
No,
it's
so-
it's an interaction thing.
What he's saying is,
it
if
can
you're
get
in the
drained.
midst of-
Let me
if you're-
explain. I'm explaining it.
Yeah. Leave your glasses and cups over there for a second.
Yeah, I'm just saying there's sometimes where it's not per se a wrong way or right way that you're going about it or that I'm going about it. It's more so just our life's experience and how we are cause us to go about the gym or talking to women in certain areas in different ways.
I know what you're saying. I had a friend one time and he would get a lot of girls, right? And his whole game was when we would go out, he would not talk to nobody, but he'd be real hyper aware of who's looking at him, right? And then, but tall, attractive, black dude, he's just like, that's okay because girls will come up and they will, but that's not going to work for me. So I get it. Everyone's got a different value and not everyone's game works for everyone. So.
I also just, most importantly though, talking about how the gym is the best place to talk to girls, maybe for you, but not in general.
I didn't say the best, but I said it's definitely not as bad as people make it out to seem. And yeah, in general, I guess.
it's a Shark Tank in there, bro. Some of these guys, man,
Yeah, let's not make that culture where it's not
promote that.
bro. Have you ever, you probably dated attractive girls. Have you ever gone to your girl's DMs?
Yeah, I get it.
Like, bruh, like don't make that worse. Like, we got to be accountable for like how shitty that is.
And
Like,
man,
have you ever been to like San Francisco and like Castro District?
No, I haven't.
Like the gay district of San Francisco? Like, as like an attractive guy, like go there if you're heterosexual
It is
and you've never
very,
had this
very-
experience, right? Because the closest thing that you can have is being around like a more like outwardly sexual environment, right? where you become what men are like from a cultural standpoint are interested in. Just go in that space when you're obviously like if you're hetero
then
and you're
you
not
feel like the
interested.
woman. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see
And
how
have that
much you
experience,
get
and
hit
then
on.
tell
And
me if
then,
you-
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That experience right there will humble you and think about, is this what women go through? It's completely different.
yeah, I'm not about to start thinking that way because it's gonna make me not talk to
Everybody-
nobody.
No,
Talk
that's
about
why I
it.
think you
But-
should continue to be you, and you should do
Because
what
it's
you do.
respectful.
It works for you.
Because it's
Yeah, yeah.
respectful. You're not giving anybody a frustrating experience. And also, like you said, when people are like, I don't want to talk, you're like, okay, absolutely.
Not even, I don't even like have to get to that point where I just like kind of, I'm aware this girl is not trying to talk to nobody, leave her alone, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But this camera on you just cut out, so we might just have to end the stream now.
That's crazy.
No, we don't ran out of
It
battery.
died.
Yeah, we ran out of battery.
That's crazy.
I feel like it was a good episode. How you guys feel about it?
Yeah.
I feel it's pretty good.
That was good, man.
All right.
Definitely.
And we got some people in the comments too. I'll send you guys this the link to the stream.